Hello, everyone. This is Jim Biringer here at NHLRumors.com. Please subscribe to the channel, click that notify button, hit the bell, like this video, comment on this video as well. We're back for another Rumors video as I am down here in South Florida covering the Stanley Cup Final between the Edmonton Oilers and Florida Panthers. Florida leads 2-1 as we prepare for Game 4, which will happen Thursday night. And the Florida Panthers have a couple of free agents that we've discussed about on this channel that you can read about on NHLRumors.com. Sam Bennett, Aaron Ekblad, and Brad Marchand. Sam Bennett leads the National Hockey League in the Stanley Cup playoffs with 14 goals. He's looking for a new deal. He's a pending unrestricted free agent at the end of the season. They have not, he hasn't signed a new deal. They're working on things, as Dave Pagnotta, the fourth period, reported. It feels like from all the insiders, from Elliotte Friedman to Chris Johnson to Pierre LeBrun, Darren Dreger, though there's some conflictions, most agree that he's going to stay in South Florida. It depends on how much he's going to take. There were some reports out there that he could get $10 million on the open market. That's kind of a little excessive. And let's be honest, I think he wants to stay in South Florida. And as Dave Pagnotta reported, it's similar to what Sam Reinhart went through last year. They got up to the 11th hour, the day before free agency, a couple of days before, got the deal done, had some time to wind down. He is so focused on winning the Stanley Cup. This team is so focused on winning a Stanley Cup that, you know what, let's put it aside. Let's get the work done after and keep him a lifelong Panther because he fits that system. Now, no doubt he would fit perfect with the Toronto Maple Leafs and other teams, but the way Paul Maurice runs this team, everybody follows him and the way he plays. So it's going to be an interesting watch, but most feel that he's going to stay a Florida Panther. It just depends on how much the value is. Similar feeling with Brad Marchand. Again, another guy that could go someplace else and change a culture as the Toronto Maple Leafs want to change their DNA. Got another guy that's linked there. You know, he could help a ton of teams out, New Jersey Devils as well as another team. But if you look at it, and he likes it here. He's 35 plus. You get a nice deal. You can structure it, salary bonus, you know, small salary, the bonuses kick in. You could structure that deal a certain way. The other guy is Aaron Ekblad. The feeling is he could test free agency. He could go around and see where things are, maybe get a better deal. If he wants the money, he's going to leave. But he said during media day, he said it multiple times to multiple people. He's a lifelong Panther. He wants to be here. The question is, does he want to take less money to stay? Because he's going to have to take less money to stay. And regardless of, the tax situation or not, which is bogus anyway, like Gary Bettman said, then it's going to be, they're going to be bringing back the same team minus a couple of pieces here and there. So the Florida Panthers are a team to watch as well. Obviously, you know, Connor McDavid could get a new extension. He's eligible from July 1st. We'll see how things go towards the end of the season. Again, similar with Evan Bouchard, but these guys are so focused on winning a Stanley Cup and in the middle of the series. But if you go around it and you look and you say to yourself, you know, what's going on? They say, we got the Chris Kreider news that's coming out. They're working on a potential trade. New York Rangers are looking to shake their core up, right? Kreider's name was out there in November. The deal is pending. So by the time this goes down, he's probably going to be traded to the Anaheim Ducks, though his name was, and that team was on his no trade list. So they've been working through those details. But the Rangers are starting to change things up, as reported on Tuesday night. Could Mika Zibanejad be next? Could Keandre Miller go? Those names are still being floated out there. It's not a rebuild, but it's a retool of this roster by Chris Drury, who has the power from James Dolan, and they want to win a championship. Not sure they're going to get back to the playoffs, but, you know, Kreider's the first piece to go. Potentially, as Larry Brooks said, if Kreider goes, does that mean Zibanejad goes? They're kind of tied at the hip. And the fact that Pat Verbeek is helping out the New York Rangers again to dump salary. Yes, we know Joel Quenneville is there. Yes, he is another veteran player. The expectations for the Ducks are to make the playoffs, but they're just adding salary, and they want to go after Mitch Marner too. Like, again, a lot of it is smoke right now when it comes to these rumors. But if you look at it, the Anaheim Ducks are becoming the new Arizona Coyotes. Let's just dump salary there. We'll see what happens. Look, the Ducks had an improvement, but the West is going to be better. So, again, the Rangers starting that process. Do they keep Keandre Miller? What do they do with Mika Zibanejad moving forward as well? They'll have an extra $6.5 million over the next 2 years to make things work. But, again, who are they going to go after in free agency? Do they make another trade? It appears the Rangers' work is not finish this offseason as well. As we first reported earlier in the season, this has been an ongoing thing since last offseason with Jacob Trouba, with Barclay Goodrow, and the list goes on of players. Another team that's interested that just went to the Western Conference Final, as we've documented, made the coaching change. The Dallas Stars fired their head coach, Pete DeBoer, and they're still looking for a new coach, whether it's Glenn Gullison, whether it's Neil Graham, whether it's Todd Nelson, whether they go in a different direction itself. Jim Nill has to get a new head coach, but names are being floated out there about potentially Jason Robertson being moved. Mason Marchman's name's out there, Matt Dumba, Elliotte Friedman. They only have about $5 million in cap space. Obviously, Mikko Rantanen's new deal is going to kick in. So with that being said, it would be tough for the Dallas Stars to move on from Jason Robertson while they're listening. According to some sources, it would take a big deal and something really big for them to move Robertson. They're trying to move Marchman out. They're trying to move Dumba out. They're trying to move Lyubushkin out. Obviously, Matt Duchene's a free agent. He's looking for stability. Jamie Benn, they're looking to bring him back. They've wanted to bring him back since January, as reported for RG Media. They're going to structure it a certain way with the 35 plus contract that to make it work with salary and signing bonuses. Doesn't sound like Duchene's going to be back. They're going to want to keep Granlund, so they're going to have to move money out to make this thing work. Other rumors around, looks like Claude Giroux up in Ottawa. They're working towards a deal, an extension. They want to get him signed. They want to keep him in Ottawa. They really like the way they've played. Dave Poulin, who works for the Senators, was on the radio talking about those contract extensions, how they want to get that done. Steve Staios kind of poured water on the Drake Batherson trade rumors that were coming out after the end of the season when he wasn't available. Many felt that Batherson was on the move and continues to be on the move, but he poured cold water on that real quick. Feels like he's going to be part of that core moving forward, but the Sens and Claude Giroux working on something. Vegas has been in on the Mitch Marner trade discussion. So is Carolina. Does Carolina take a run at Matt Duchene? Do they take a run at Mitch Marner? If the Vegas Golden Knights are going to go after Mitch Marner, they're going to have to move a guy like Nicholas Hague. They're going to have to move a guy like William Karlsson. James Myrtle put out a report about how there was a three-way deal trying to be worked on with Toronto, Carolina, and Vegas. It was the assets that was the issue coming back from Carolina. Don't forget, Mitch Marner had a no movement clause that he can use, similar to the Kreider situation. He said, if he says no, the deal's dead. So it doesn't matter. But Vegas also has Jack Eichel's extension to worry about. He's eligible July 1st. The Vegas Golden Knights are going to look a lot different next year if they move out some more key pieces. But Kelly McCrimmon isn't afraid to do that. Remember, it's a winning business for him. It's not the hockey business. Vegas wants to get back there again. So that's a team to look out. Utah has been active. It sounds like they're in. They want to take a run at Mitch Marner. They want to potentially move the 4th overall pick. That owner wants to win and get them into the playoffs. So the Utah Mammoth are a team that could take a run during free agency as well as on the trade market heading into the NHL draft. That's a team to watch out for. Obviously, the New Jersey Devils were not happy with the way their season ended. They're looking to get bigger. They need to add goal scorer. They need to add depth scoring as well to their lineup. As Tom Fitzgerald said, that lineup wasn't good enough. He wants to come back with a different roster. Guys like potentially Andre Palat could be moved. Eric Hall is going to have to be moved. Dawson Mercer is going to have to be moved. Is somebody like Simone Nemec or Dawson Mercer or a player like Seamus Casey be on the move? So those things are being worked on by New Jersey. Let's see what they can do because they need to add a goal scorer. They need to add the right depth pieces. So New Jersey's a team to watch out for. You look at, again, across the board, the Montreal Canadiens enter the fold if Aaron Ekblad hits the open market. Do they try to trade for Nicholas Hague? Lane Hudson, who won the Calder Trophy as the NHL's Rookie of the Year, said he wants to be a Montreal Canadien long-term. They're going to work that out and get him signed to an extension long-term. Again, he was one of the best defensemen in the league as a rookie. He was 9th place in the Norris voting already. And again, what he did, breaking records. The Canadiens are also going to be looking for a second-line center, another forward. Again, what's out there? Did they get an upgrade over Kirby Dach? Is it Pavel Zacha, somebody like that? A lot of smoke out there right now regarding a lot of teams. As well, what did the Islanders do? Did they take James Hagan number 1 overall? Is it Matthew Schaefer? Did they try to trade back in, as some reports are out there, try to get Hagens at 4 to trade with the Utah Mammoth. It might cost them a heavy price, but that's something to watch. What does LA do with Gavrikov? Last time Gavrikov has yet to sign his extension. Could the Rangers go after him now with the freed up money to shore up that defense? Could a guy like Brian Dumoulin, who played under Mike Sullivan, sign in New York? That's something to watch out for. So there's a lot of changes happening this offseason. Already a lot of rumors coming out, but the big ones coming out of New York. Obviously, finally touching on the Buffalo Sabres and what they do. Names like J.J. Peterka are out there. Bowen Byram's name's out there. Tage Thompson's not going to be traded. What about Alex Tuch? He just bought a house there. Does he want to stay? So many young players in there. Owen Power, they're taking calls on. Matthias Samuelsson, they're taking calls on. But Byram's name continues to be out there. Same with Peterka, but there's hesitation by Kevin Adams, even though Jarmo Kekalainen is there as an advisor. Hesitation to move players because of the past of all these guys leaving and, doing well in other places. There's hesitation to move him. Though they moved Dylan Cousins, they're hesitant on moving some other pieces, but they have to change up that core to be successful in Buffalo, or else it's going to be 15 straight years out of the playoffs. So Byram's name's up there. Power's name comes up. Samuelson's name's coming up. Tuch's name's coming up. Peterka as well. But it's going to take a big price to move out J.J. Peterka. As I reported before the trade deadline, when the report out there the Rangers were interested in Peterka, a guy like Alexis Lafreniere would have to go back the other way. He doesn't have trade protection. So that's a player that they're going to have to move out on if they want to get a guy like that from Buffalo. But the winds of change are starting to circle. What do the Canucks do? How do they keep Quinn Hughes up there? Does he move to New Jersey? Again, there's a lot of stuff that's happening right now. What's real, was it, isn't? Dive through it all. But again, great reporting from Dave Pagnotta about the Dallas situation. Again, they're listening, but it's got to be a blowaway offer to move Jason Robertson. Most likely Mason Marchment goes. Again, what does Ottawa do? How do they keep their guys? How does Florida keep their players and keep that dynasty run going through? Utah going to be active. So a lot of nuggets out there for you paying attention now. And how does Anaheim figure into all this when they do and have acquired Chris Kreider from everything? How do they fit into all this out west and the balancing act that happens there? And does Calgary kind of move on from Rasmus Anderson, or they keep him as an own rental? So those are things to watch out as we head into the NHL Draft. Again, live from the Stanley Cup Final. Jim Biringer here, reporting NHLRumors.com. Hit that notification button, like this video, comment as well. We'll be back again real soon for another video. Take care.